Look at the picture. See the skull. Visible Frankenstein controls. The Brain Thoughts broadcasting radio. The Frankenstein earphone radio. The latest new skull reforming to contain all Frankenstein controls.
Well, good evening, everyone. Frankenstein Control is brought to you tonight by Gavin. Has anyone seen Gavin? English bloke, really funny he is. I take by your utterly confused faces that you have no idea what the earthly fuck I'm talking about.
No.
That's just an NPC in Red Dead. You in the town of Rhodes, I think, is the first time I encountered him. I'm sure he's probably elsewhere in the game. But
how do you get there? Oh, the road of towns.
There's this guy wearing a boater hat who I have been kicking around the idea of going. We're going to PAX in March, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And
it's news to me.
Yep, Lisa wanted to go, so we're going. And were I a younger, less tired, less poor man, I might still do this if I feel good enough, but it'd be a really easy cosplay to pull off because he just basically wears like a semi-modern suit and like a boater hat and has a mustache. And it's this guy who wanders around who is looking for his friend Gavin. And he loudly repeats himself all over town. Has anyone seen Gavin? Gav! Where are you? Gav! And you're like, what the fuck is this? Can I interact with this person? You can briefly talk to him. I'm not sure if you can help him find Gavin. I wanted to know to what degree other people have encountered this guy. And I'm like, is this a thing that, like, a lesser-known Easter egg, or is this a thing a lot of people are interacting with? So I started typing into Google, has anybody, and the first result was seen Gavin. And I was like, well, okay. That answers that question.
Yeah.
That's very reminiscent. Are you wanted to go dress as that guy, go around PAX asking people if they've seen Gavin?
It'd be a great, like, in the spirit of the kind of shit we saw at old school Otakon, where there'd just be somebody walking around with a really good themed costume, just pulling it off. You could walk around as that dude doing the, has anyone seen Gavin?
That reminds me a lot of that old Mega 64 video where the guy goes around in the Heavy Rain costume going, Jason! Jason! Jason!
That's really funny.
And that was a good time.
Free as a bird.
Or you could just be, a fucking mindless asshole sheep and just yell, butt scratcher!
Ah, fuck those people. That wasn't funny 10 years ago. It wasn't funny on Family Guy. It was never fucking funny. And I hated the children who did it.
Or that year at MagFest where everybody kept going, what? They're doing the Colossus power-up yell from the X-Men arcade game. Apparently he would go,
because that noise could literally be from anything.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you know it was attributed specifically to that?
That's a Taylor noise. That's just a noise you make.
That is true. When I get up in the morning, I'm like, whoop!
It wakes me up.
Before I go to the bathroom. Thank you.
Ada doesn't even need to set her alarm anymore. That'll get her up every...
It's like the crowing rooster.
Uh-huh. Oh, God. But yes, that the Gavin guy is funny. And
Gavin!
He'd be an easy cosplay to do.
Well, that is a great segue into... Welcome, one and all, to Gavinstein Control. I'm your host, Bartleby Jehoshaphat. To my left is Wimbledon Queenshagger.
I'm Wimbledon Queenshagger, and I shagged the Queen.
Oh, that's a right good lass there. She smells a bit, but she's got her heart of gold. And in front of me, as always, is Big Ben himself. What's going on, you big bone?
Cool.
Speedwagon.
On this week's episode of Frankenstein Control, we're gonna offensively imitate British people for the whole episode.
Cool blimey, I'm gonna nip down to Whitechapel and slice up a prosy.
Like, comment, and drink tea.
Sure.
No, we won't do that.
I want to talk about something.
What?
That it happened last week from everyone's perspective, but for mine it just happened.
What happened to you?
It's the good news and bad news in the world of being trans.
Okay.
The good news is there was some Irish comedian, I believe his name's
Graham Liner.
that is a huge TERF and has been actively trying to defund a charity that works for...
I heard something about this.
Yeah, he was actively trying to defund this charity that works for trans kids. And a video game streamer named H Bomber Guy decided...
It's funny because he only, video streams, he's a little bit. He's mostly known for, his commentary videos.
Oh, he's mostly like a YouTube guy?
He's quite funny. I enjoy his work.
Okay. Well, anyway, H Bomber Guy decides he's going to play Donkey Kong Country 64 and 100% it, which is a notoriously difficult game to 100%, in order to raise money for that charity to bring it back. And he ended up raising over $300,000.
Wow.
And the creator of Doom showed up and supported it, even though apparently the Ram guy says that Doom is his favorite game. All these other pseudo celebrity people that are big
I heard,
within the trans community have shown up.
I heard Ocasio-Cortez showed up and donated.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Oh,
awesome.
yeah, she did. And basically now Donkey Kong is a trans icon, along with Bowser, with the whole Bowsette thing.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. That's the best news I've heard all day.
Donkey Kong said trans rights.
Okay. In less great trans news.
Yeah, let's get to the bad stuff. They're stripping away our rights as much as they can, because now we can't join the military, and I never wanted to. So
I was going to say, well...
Fuck it, but hooray, that's one more step to them declaring that we're not people, and therefore can discriminate against us in any other way they want.
I was going to segue into the topic by going, well, now you don't got to worry about being drafted.
Yeah, just got to worry about being sent to a concentration camp. Can't wait for that.
Well, that killed the episode.
It sure did.
Hey!
Just like they might kill me.
Play a fucking party favorite, always.
Speaking of streaming and YouTube people, there's one that I've been watching that I found out through Lissa. And Lissa found out about her because of Susie of Game Grumps. Because she did a...
Susie the Goose.
She did a... what?
Don't worry about it.
All right. She did a stream with this particular YouTuber. Her name is Gab. It's not her real name, but that's her handle. Is Girl Gamer Gab.
Her last name is Penton.
Yes. And she is taken by a lot of elderly diabetics.
Gabapentin?
Yes. I don't remember if that's what that treats, but I just remember seeing it a lot every fucking day for the last 4 years. Anyhow. Lost my train of thought there.
Streamer Gab.
Yes, she is really cool. I like her anyhow. She does a lot of horror games, and I'm immensely interested in horror games, but I cannot play them myself. I like to watch someone else play them, and she's good at them, and she does not at all have an obnoxious or overbearing personality. She's not one of the, what up, YouTube, it's boy, you're not one of them.
Top of the morning to you, suck, septic oi! And you're like, great, good, thank you.
Yeah, cool. No, she does not have an over-the-top personality at all. She's pretty cool, and she just, she'll make a joke here and there, of course, and talk to you a little bit about herself and her life and all that. Periodic guests are her cats on the channel. But, yeah, she just plays the fucking game and is good at them and completes most of them. So if you're super interested in the story of a particular horror game, she'll play it, and it's a good thing to watch. And so now I'm watching her playthrough of Silent Hill 2 because I've always been super into the lore and creatures and shit of Silent Hill, but I've never played them myself because they scare the shit out of me. So I'm watching her play the Pyramid Head Boy game and do the things with the lead pipe. And also on that note, in typical a long-standing joke between Lissa and I is we're watching an anime that we watch, which is a frequent occurrence for us, and there'll be a character who's clearly the teacher or father figure, and we'll be like, he's 24, ridiculously young, commenting on how fucking old we've gotten.
Yeah.
And how we are now vastly older than all of our formative characters growing up.
Yeah.
And how that's a weird thing, filled with cognitive dissonance. And James Sunderland, the protagonist of Silent Hill 2, is always somebody that I thought of. He had to be in his mid-30s or whatever.
Yeah.
He's his whole plot is that his wife has died of some disease, and that doesn't typically happen to young people. So I assumed that he was middle-aged.
Yeah.
He's 29.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, great. And
That's almost 30.
I'm 29, and Lissa is the age his wife was supposed to be.
No!
So,
Well,
You live in the good timeline.
yeah, I live in the good time.
Instead of living in the hell realm.
Yeah, the other world.
Silent Hill.
Yep.
speaking
Where
of
it was
hell
just a
realms-
dog the whole time.
Oh yes, it is just a dog the whole time.
What game is that where that happens?
I think
Silent
it's
Hill
all of them.
3.
It's 3. It's or the one with Travis as the protagonist. That's
Alright.
My cousin Travis?
Yes.
Or Travis Touchdown?
No, the protagonist of one of the Silent Hills is a guy named Travis, who's a trucker or something. Steven would know. Steven has actually played most of them.
Oh.
And I think that's the one. Actually, I think the UFO dog ending is in all of them. Or at least more than
Really?
one of them.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fact check us and then comment on how wrong we are.
And then call one of us, or all of us, a cuck.
Yes. Make sure you do that.
Please, we're asking you to, so that later when I see that someone inevitably did, I don't feel bad because we told them to.
We told them to. They're gonna say you're a cuck, and I know you told us not to. But like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. Premium comedy here at Frankenstein Control. Hey,
Like Cuckman and Describe.
you were talking about playing scary video games. I've been doing a bit of that.
Subnautica?
Yeah,
I'm super interested in that game now.
There's Supernautica interested in this one. I'll tell you that much. You don't like crabs.
Oh, yeah, I don't like... Well, I don't like eating them. I'm not...
Do you like picking up crab shit?
No.
And this is not the game for you.
It's 90% crab shit.
It's only 1%.
Absolutely untrue, but still
1%
it's funny.
sub-driving, 90% crab shit, and then 8% being scared of the deep. Thalassophobia.
That game is really, really fantastic at even when you've learned how to deal with all the bad nasties in that game, the feeling of terror never leaves you completely. You do get used to things, but there is always that looking over your shoulder for shit. And when you're high up in the water and then you look down and you just can't see the fucking bottom and you're like, what waits? You gotta go down there. But I'm painting this like a horror game, and it's only a horror game because the ocean is scary.
Yeah.
And also there are no proper weapons in the game, so killing things is extremely difficult.
You can't... There is a yeet ray, though.
There's a yeet gun that you just shoot at things and they go, whoa, and fly away. And depending on how light they are, they can go far or they can not go at all. There are big, giant, horrible nightmare monsters throughout some parts of the game, but you quickly figure out how the shit works. And also save often. If you're going to pick up this game, folks at home, save often.
Just play it on hardcore mode and don't be a fucking pussy.
No, be a huge pussy forever. And fuck Ada. The game is fun and it has a surprisingly more in-depth story than you would think first going in.
Yeah. I was expecting, not really... From what you had described about it, I was expecting a vague non-story like Minecraft, because that was the comparison I think you made.
Yeah, it was like, it's undersea Minecraft.
Yeah.
With nightmares.
With nightmares. Nightcraft. Oh, speaking of night, for some reason it just feels like it's night 24 hours a day in that game.
Oh yeah,
it's fucking night all the time
because you got all those eclipses.
Yes, because not only is there a day-night cycle where the days and the nights are pretty much even, but also during the day, the sun could just get eclipsed because there's a giant-ass moon that likes to rotate around the planet 1 million times a day. So there's just eclipses and night, because fuck you! You don't need to see shit!
You'll be underwater most of the time, who cares?
Well, it's They actually do a really good job of, if you go in the day and explore stuff during the day, unless you're in a big nasty cave filled with crab shit, it's you can actually see stuff moderately well when the sun isn't eclipsed.
Yeah.
And it's good enough. But then when it hits night and you're in an area that you've just never been to before, you're just like, where am I? Where's the service? Fuck! Oh! What was that? Wah! I should be a Let's Player. I'll get 9 million views because I can fake being scared. Just kidding. It's not fake. I'm terrified. That game makes me spooked from beginning to end. Well, actually, by the end, I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to fuck with the big monsters now.
I will say it's interesting to watch Gab, the girl I was talking about, because she's like a very practiced hand at horror games, so she rarely gets scared. And she'll be like, oh, and she'll be like, occasionally she'll be like, whoa, this is like really well done horror. Like this really evokes a feeling of fear. Like I got to tip my hat to this. But she very rarely has moments of, oh, fuck, But there was one, she was playing Siren, which is another game that I've always been interested by, the Japanese horror game Siren, the Shibido people and the sight jacking. And she was just running along, and she was like, where'd that one go? And it was like, suddenly appeared in the bottom of her screen, like right next to her character.
Whoa!
And she had kind of a, oh, God! And like that was the most I've seen her come unglued a little bit, which is...
Now, I want to reiterate with Subnautica, when I say terror, I mean terror in like the classical aspect. Like
just the pure Stygian, like primordial, like holy fuck... monolithic underwater thing, roots of my genetic memory, I'm frightened.
Like horror is, I forget who described it, some old guy
Who's dead?
who's probably dead. He might not be, I don't know. Well, anyway, they described horror as the difference between horror and terror. Horror is something scary happening to you, and it's scary. Terror is the everlasting threat of something scary going to happen to you, but it's just building up that tension, and it's just that's a lot of what going into the deeper, darker, scarier places in that game is like. There is very little in ways of jump scares. I would say the only jump scares in the game are 100% accidental, just from like you turn around and there's a peeper or something, and its eyes really big, so you're like, whoa! Or like, you're driving in your submarine in the deep dark ocean, you're like, I hope nothing gets me, and then you just hear this big clang against the surface, like, and then it just turns out you hit a fish, and you got a big open hollow submarine, so it sounds loud as shit.
Or you turn around and then you notice this huge bunch of seaweed and you think it's a leviathan.
Yes!
And you get spooked by nothing.
Yeah, like most of the comes from just your wound up nerves of being in this unfamiliar, completely human unfamiliar place. I think it really captures how terrifying being in a place you weren't built for really is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And also the Reaper Leviathans are happy boys and they just want a hug.
Tell us about their names.
Oh, yeah. So my cousin, who also plays this game, he informed me that the community was very involved in this game because it was one of those games that was in early access for like 2 goddamn years and then finally just released like 2018 or whatever. So the community was very well involved with it because, they were always constantly giving feedback on forums and stuff. The community decided to reach consensus on the various big creatures in the game. And, they would name some of them like, oh shit, I forget, like...
There's Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yes. There's 3 specific kinds of Leviathans in the game. They named Huey, Dewey, and Louie. There's, a couple other ones hanging around, like, one of them's named Spooky. And I'm like, no, I wish that one was really fat.
Yeah.
And, some of them have normal names. I don't know the exact, like, Vivian or Charlotte or something like that. And then one of them is called Sammy the Safety Reaper, which cracks me up. And then my favorite is out in the middle of the dunes. There's one that just hangs out, and his name is Burger King Foot Lettuce.
Why is his name Burger King foot lettuce?
So B-Ray doesn't know either.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought they were just being lol so random, and it was like, it's a good combo.
Yeah,
It's funny.
Taylor told us that while his brother Brian was also in the room, and our roommate Andrew was over in his room, and he's like, one of them is named Burger King foot lettuce, and I'm like, Burger King foot lettuce, and Brian is Burger King foot lettuce. We hear Andrew going, you're talking about Burger King foot lettuce?
And I'm like, what?
And it was basically this meme for a while where a guy working at Burger King took some of the panned out lettuce, put it on the ground, and stepped in it, and then took a picture of it and shared it with text like, "This is what you're eating at Burger King." And he of course got caught really quickly, and
disciplinary action upon him.
I assume he got fired, and it was just this whole deal. And that's all it would have been, except for this person on YouTube that's apparently actually really popular. Did some top 10 grossest things in fast food, and he shares that news story, and the way he talks, and he's clearly just reading off what he wrote down on a script, and the way he reads it is very awkward and weird. So he's like, next up, Burger King foot lettuce. Nobody wants somebody's foot fungus in your dinner, but that might be what you get.
And so while I'm fucking around the dunes, everybody's sitting around watching me play, but also looking at their phones. I'm like, no, stay away, Burger King. And then Andrew will just be like, Burger King foot lettuce to himself as he's not even looking at the screen, just fucking around on his phone. And just like, this is madness! As they're getting whipped around by a fucking sea monster.
Nobody wants to get whipped around by a sea monster, but with Burger King foot lettuce, that might just be what you get.
Burger King foot ocean. But yeah, I know it's spoopy, but I highly recommend the game just because it's quite the experience. It's a lot of fun, and again, the story is surprisingly deeper than you thought it would be.
Deeper?
Baby, looby dooby doob up in the safety scuba gear. Line up, kids, here comes the Sammy guy.
What was any of that?
I don't know. I had a song in my heart. I want to sing about Sammy the Safety Reaper.
He had another stroke, is what happened.
No, that was Adam Sandler.
Well, more than one person can have a stroke at the same time. His was back in 2011.
No, that's true.
You're having a time stroke.
You've had 4 strokes this year, Taylor.
I have. Oh, masturbation joke.
Since we're kind of on the theme of recommending media we like,
I
have 2 albums that I'd like to plug. One of them was brought to my attention by longtime listener Kippa. It's by a band called Daughters.
Oh, Daughters is awesome.
Yeah, the album is You Won't Get What You Want.
Oh yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah, and it's kind of terrifying and really dark and very powerful.
Yeah.
It is a little upsetting to listen to at some points, especially just reading the lyrics, because it's a very noisy album, so a lot of times it's hard to really appreciate the lyrics. So I looked them all up and read them along. Just read this poetry to the music, basically. It's all really intense and really disturbing. It seems to be about somebody's descent into madness, as well as like
you do.
Maybe some weird sex things going on too. I don't know. Some of it is a little implied. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, but it's upsetting. And other thing I want to plug is a musician that I've been following for probably about a year, called the Scary Jokes. They're on Bandcamp mostly. They put out a new album called Burn Pygmalion, A Better Guide to Romance. And it's kind of like poppy electro prog music that tells a story about this journalist and her celebrity girlfriend, and how she's staying at her country home and basically going insane and racked with neurosis over their relationship and all the...
A lot of madness.
Yeah, a little bit of madness.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yes. Mentally ill people in music.
Yep.
but it's has a lot of like really touching and also really sad moments into it, and they're all very different songs, but they all come together very cohesively, and it's almost like individually I can't really pick out one single song that's like the amazing one, but together as this huge picture, it's all so good, and it's basically all I've been listening to for the past 2 weeks.
Like a prog rock album. Or what's the word I'm looking for? I fucked that up. What's it called? A rock opera.
Yeah, rock opera.
There we go. I haven't been listening to a lot of... I've mostly just been listening to the same Ariel Pink and Sun Kill Moon songs that constitute my repertoire the rest of the time, but in terms of if I want to go back and mention a scary thing again, while Alyssa and I were racked with the horrible respiratory infection we had, which is part of the reason we didn't record for that long hiatus.
That's right, when everyone was sick and dying.
I got sick as fuck. I got Captain Trips.
Captain Trips?
Captain Trips is the name of the virus in The Stand.
Oh, okay.
Ayo, Captain Trips! Ayo, Captain Trips! Go to the alley and pull some tricks!
Sucking dick by the railroad tracks.
I've been laughing at that for... Did you sing that on the episode?
No, so last time we recorded, we were all just hanging out, and then like B-Ray's like, alright, I think I gotta be ready to go. And then just for some reason, Captain Jack appeared in my head.
So Captain Jack is a song from DDR, which
was a performer from DDR, I thought.
A performer from DDR. The song and the performer. It's a song by it's an
Captain Jack by Captain Jack.
Yes. And they were some kind of god-awful Eurodance from 1996.
It hurts to listen to. It really does.
Oh, the lyrics are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I listened to it again when I got home, and I was like, that was awful. Like, I get this is, meant for thrashing around in some, European sweaty sex dungeon in the wild ecstasy days of the 90s. So the quality of the lyrics doesn't have to be on point. But
tracksuit not included.
Exactly. But they're bad. The lyrics are bad. And it's just, I want to be a shooting man. That's one of them. Put a gun in my hand. I want to be... Put a gun
in my hand. I want to be a shooting man.
That's an actual lyric in the terrible song. Now...
What does it mean?
Nothing.
I think it's about being in the army?
It is, but no one... I don't require... I'm exhausted. No, but if, like me, you're now having a holy shit... I remember that DDR thing from 20 goddamn years ago that I've forgotten about for the better part of 2 decades, and it's all come rushing back. Epiphany, the way that I did, it really affected me strongly. And then I didn't remember the actual lyrics at the time, so Taylor just sung.
Yeah, so just I had it in my head for some reason, and B-Ray's like, I've got to go, guys. I'll see you later. I'm like, hey-ho, Captain Jack! Suck some dick by the railroad track! And for some reason, B-Ray and Ada thought it was the funniest goddamn thing.
It was...
They say, I know you say a lot of dumb shit, Taylor, but this is the prime shit.
And I did not recall the lyrics of the actual song at the time. The actual song does mention railroad tracks. It does rhyme Captain Jack with railroad tracks, which I diminished the humor somewhat because I thought that was just something you pulled out of your ass. But it's still funny.
He does not actually say sucking dick by the railroad track, though. Just for the record.
It's take me back to the railroad track. Which, is a very common experience in the Army. You're always going to railroad tracks in basic training at Paris fucking Island.
At your island?
Paris Island is where Marines train for, I think there's 2 training camps. There's 29 Palms, which is in California or something. And if you're in one half of the country, you go there. And if you're in another half of the country, you go to Paris Island. Oh. And if I'm wrong about that, which I probably am, and you're someone who knows better, insult me in the comments. And,
Please comment.
Yes. What was I even going to talk about? Oh, the movie we watched while we were sick was Annihilation. And
whoa, where did that come from with sucking dick by the railroad track?
No, I'm just going back to our original thing before
but what started all this?
Ridiculous dick-sucking tangent that we went down.
Is you were sick because of all the dick you were sucking by the railroad track.
Yeah, that is how it happens. But Annihilation's that Natalie Portman sci-fi movie that you probably saw the previews for and then forgot about immediately.
She's like, look at all that oily goop I'm going in.
Yep, and look at all these weird-ass mutated animals, and I hope there isn't a horrifying fucking bear that's the scariest thing in the movie that appears about halfway through, but there is.
And then also you become a plant. Mushroom man.
Yeah, I want to talk more about that bear, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody because it's like the scene in the movie. So
the bear scene.
The bear scene. It is on YouTube if you don't care about spoilers. Just Google.
I don't mind spoiling it. What happens is they set up camp, and then when they're packing up, nobody puts out the campfire.
And then Smokey does what needs to be done.
Puts it out with their blood.
Only you can do this. Now go.
Go and die! Smokey talks. Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, he talks in the commercials.
I'm stupid.
He's the one that says only you can prevent forest fires.
No, I mean... I meant the actual bear. Like the bear.
Oh,
the bear we named Smokey, but like halfway after saying, I'm like, that just sounds like I said. Smokey the bear talks. Yeah, no shit, dummy. Only you can forest.
Only you can suck dick by the railroad tracks.
Hey! Bear Eye, what are the latest exploits of your cat?
Pumpkin Boy, we got him a health plan the other day. They have health plans for kitties, so you don't bankrupt yourself when your beloved animal gets sick, which they will do. So we did that, and it's just $22 a month, which is surprisingly not bad.
And it's already paying off. We keep feeding them lithium-ion batteries. We just take them to the doctor.
What?
He just begs for them now. Thanks. Every time I come home.
He's like, give me a charge.
Now, his favorite thing to do is take a terrible smelling dump, and then like he gets the poop zoomies, so he just races throughout the apartment because he gets a huge energy burst after pooping.
No, he's rocket propelled.
Just flies up on the table and then comes up behind me and goes meow, 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 and like yells and just like I'm like, what do you want? I fed you. I think
he's like, I know, I got rid of it.
Yeah, but he's like, more please, refill the canister.
Refill your cat now.
What would you do if Pumpkin just hopped up on you and goes, meow, 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 meow.
I'd just be like, what you doing, silly boy?
This is normal for you.
And I'd just pet him on the head and he'd be cute the way he does. I'd assume, well, I think if anything, I would assume that I'd ingested a hallucinogen. And the problem was my dying brain, not so much him.
Okay. Would you run to a hospital?
That reminds me of a creepypasta that I heard recently. I forgot what it was called. Shit. It was like a story about this guy who adopts this dog, and the dog's normal for a while, and then it starts like woofing in a weird way, and then eventually it starts woofing words, and then it starts demonstrating understanding of language and how to put words together to demand things. And it's like, it's this great spin on like, man, I wish I could talk with the animals, and then make you go, oh no, they're animals. Just because they can communicate with you doesn't mean they're nice about it.
Yeah.
And it's really very tense and like uncomfortable, and it was good. It was very interesting and strange. Highly recommend it. Look up Dog Talks Creepypasta. You'll find, alright everybody, welcome to my Let's Play channel. This is Dog Talks. Today we're gonna play Mailman Chaser. Here we go. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out brilliant.org.
Is that like the sponsor on all the things you've been watching?
Yes, it is the sponsor everywhere, and that's why I keep bringing it up, because I can't avoid it.
Okay.
Although it does happen because I watch a lot of science shows. Yeah. When I watch lots of science things, guess what? They're all going to want to fucking get sponsored by the Smarty Pants Simulator on the internet. Act like you know things. Kind of like what I do.
Yeah.
Well, folks, look at that. Look at that there clock on the wall. You know what time it is?
It is 9:58.
9:58. What a time to be alive. And what a time to end this episode. You know, every time we need to end an episode, I get a little misty-eyed.
I know, I've been wanting you to get to see a doctor about that.
That mist coming out of your eyes is going to take us to Silent Hill, you asshole.
It might just be glaucoma.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh. Taylor, that's...
It smells like burning.
What are you guys talking about?
Taylor, stop.
Oh! Well, there they go. Huh. Hey, Captain Jack! Suck some dick by the railroad track!
Now even you know I am a menace. I hand you the secrets to save the entire human race and the entire universe.